I'm Mark O'Mara, and this is my U.S. Amateur. Back then, I idolized the players, but I also idolized the broadcasters. And you get to see the replay and to hear some of those compliments that I was getting paid by the great Peter Allis or the great Dave Marr or Bob Rosberg.
This is a swing that I've really admired now that I've seen it a few times.
Legends of sports broadcasting that meant so much to me as a player.
Very smooth. I'm very envious.
Marvelous golf swing, and as big and as strong as he is, Peter, he'll play a long time.
I used to see them paying those compliments to Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer and, Gary Player and Tom Watson, the legends of the game. And then all of a sudden, here's this 22-year-old puffy-haired young California kid on that basically same stage in the game of golf, which was the start of something special in my life. Canterbury is a great, well-known golf course. The course had tremendous history, and I knew it was going to be a great golf course. To win the U.S. Amateur, there's so much that has to come into play. I wouldn't say that I was ever an overconfident player, and so it was a little easier sometimes to fly a little under the radar. It was nice to get through that first match. The quicker you can get those things done, the better off you are to save the energy for your next match. The night before the finals, when I'm getting ready to play my good friend John Cook. Played in the 78 Amateur at Plainfield, and that's the one that John Cook won. John and I go way back from the junior golf days. I always admired John. John was a better player than I was, which kind of motivated me a little bit. He's the favorite. I get that. Probably should be. I'm okay with that. But you know what? I'm going to throw all the pressure over on him. Instead of putting pressure on me, because nobody thinks I'm going to win, I'll let him have all the pressure because everybody expects him to win. Remember how nervous I was starting the round? There are a lot of nerves that come into trying to win this great championship. I think that was a little bit at play, and then all of a sudden, when I was 2 down after 4, and I thought to myself, look, I still have time to turn this around. And I just have to be patient. I just got to hang in there. And that's what I tried to do. I always took a lot of pride in trying to have good distance control. But that morning it was a little misty and a little bit wet, and you can see the rain coming down a little bit. So this was at it, but obviously didn't have the spin on it that you would have liked. But still a reasonably good shot. I think all my life, I may not have been the best ball striker, but I always felt like I was a really good putter. And this was with a Wilson designed by Arnold Palmer putter, which I still have, and it made a lot of putts just like that. I don't know about that hair, though. Where did that go? Are you kidding me? I just felt like I turned the tide, let's say that. That was a big turnaround. That was the big momentum changer, you would say, in the match. The rain can play mind tricks with your game out there, and to be fair, I know how good a ball striker John Cook is, and some of those shots that he hit were not John Cook type golf shots.
To win the hole, safely done. So suddenly, position changes again. 2 up after 8 holes.
I had to be a good putter because I necessarily wasn't the best ball striker, and so most of my game kind of revolved around the flat stick, the putter. And it's just funny how when you come into big tournaments and big events, it does kind of come down to, yes, you need to hit the ball well, but you do not win tournaments unless you putt well. No matter how good you hit the ball, you have to putt well. And certainly on that Sunday at Canterbury, I putted extremely well. Okay, you're 3 up after 9. That's better than being 2 down. But it also is the fact that you still got 27 holes to play. 17th hole is just this long, demanding par 3. And when the rain and the coolness and the wet and the ball's not traveling, standing over those tee shots, you're just hoping to hit the green. I didn't think I could hit anything else but 3-wood. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say that was a strong part of my game at that time, but for some reason, some way, and somehow, that shot came off really nicely, and You can see that the ball started out to the right and hit a draw in there. This ball was right at it. I made a good putt there, and so everything was going my way. That was definitely a pivotal point, I would say, in the match.
Looks smooth, looks online. Oh, well, he really has rolled some good ones in.
You know, in match play, you just got to keep the pedal down. You cannot let up. Until the match is over, it's never over. Sometimes you just have to take your medicine and realize that even though you hit one bad shot on a hole, that doesn't mean the rest of the hole is all done. And fortunately, you know, I was smart enough to take my medicine, put it back in play, and give myself still an opportunity to make a par and not lose the hole. Had a sand wedge. I'd like you to tell, my swing was way more upright back then. Hit a good shot in there to about 8 to 10 feet below the hole, and somehow escaped with a par. And I think I was 4 up after 18 holes.
I thought you played pretty well. You hit 15 greens, and you finally got it up and down here at the last hole. In fact, it was a big 4 to make.
Yeah, Mr. Rosberg, I was pretty fortunate there on 18. You know, you never know in match play. Anything can happen. So I just punched out there in the fairway on 18 and hit it up close, and my putter feels pretty good right now.
I've played enough golf with John Cook to know that he is a great competitor, and he's not going to let up. So nor could I.
This man now 6 up O'Meara. There's good speed. He's just pulverizing the ball there, isn't he? I mean, he's now 7 up with just 11 holes left to play.
I didn't realize it at the time, but it did kind of close the door on our match, even though there were still all these holes left to play. The first thought that came into my mind on the 9th fairway, our 27th hole at Canterbury, was, oh my God, I might win this hole to go up to 9, and there's only 9 holes left to play. If I lose this thing, this will be the biggest collapse ever in the history of the U.S. Amateur. And that was actually my thought. And I was like, whoa, Mark, don't think that way. I mean, what? Just keep playing. Come on, keep plugging along. We tied the 9th hole with pars. And so now I'm 8 up with 9 to play. And John made birdie on 10. So now all of a sudden I'm 7 up with 8 to play. So I'm thinking, hey, see, this is why you should never try to keep negative thoughts away.
Now, if he should win this hole, that's it.
Looked a little heavy.
He's got it coming right at it.
This was a 6-iron shot. I don't know, that's not too bad, to about 12 feet below the hole. And just to cap it off, it looked like John might make bogey. When we got on that green, walking up there, that was when it started to sink in that, hey, I think this could be over. I think I'm going to win U.S. Amateur.
Nice, easy style in everything he does, this boy. I think we could hear a lot more of this young player, O'Meara. Just easing it up to the hole side, and of course it disappears for yet another birdie.
Oh, great play.
The stars kind of aligned on that Sunday afternoon there at Canterbury in 1979 because I know the player I was, and do I think I was that good? No, not necessarily. But to look at the stats and to say that only missing 3 fairways and hitting 24 of 29 greens, I would have never dreamed that would have happened to me on that Sunday afternoon. So to play in that form, in that fashion, and then put the putting on top of that, that's why I was fortunate to win 8 and 7. And this great championship trophy right there. I mean, well, we all know it's the best amateur trophy in the world. It's one of the hardest championships to win. I take a lot of pride in being a USGA champion, and certainly a US amateur champion. When I look at that great trophy right there and realize how that changed my life and how fortunate I am to be a US amateur champion, there's tremendous pride that goes alongside having your name on that trophy with the other great US amateur champions, and also the players that have gone on to have tremendous professional careers, Hall of Fame members. I'm just blessed to be a US amateur champion.